So, here we go.
Hello, hello, hello. You're listening to Midnight Movie Gang. It is currently 1:06 p.m. Night Movie Gang. My name is LC, and I'm here with Joseph.
Hello.
Heyo.
Hello.
Yeah, so glad to have you back, buddy.
I'm here.
Last two episodes, one of them's not, our Tenet episode is not out yet. Tenet, that comes out next week, or
Crazy.
I might put this ahead of Tenet, because Tenet's going to come from the future.
Yeah.
but because we're talking about a new movie today. We're talking about most of the episode, we're probably going to be talking about Mickey 17.
Yeah.
And then the second part of this episode, we're going to talk about Michael Bay's The Island. I thought that we're also going to record a commentary track for that for the Patreon, because trying to keep up more with that. I forgot to even say, this is a show where we talk about horror, sci-fi, genre film stuff. Both these movies are sci-fi as fuck.
Yes. Well, one is, I know for sure.
Oh yeah, no. Although I have not seen The Island since I'm holding the DVD, can't hear the physical media.
It's a physical DVD.
Oh god, it's got so I think my favorite thing. I don't know if you looked inside. It's got this coupon in here for save $6 on these great DVDs.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't,
Save $3 on War of the Worlds.
and you look on the back, it expired in 2006.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think
I wanted to get Gladiator, Minority Report, and Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
$3.
This is slowly becoming my favorite things about collecting DVDs. All the little ads and little slips.
Defunct ads.
Yeah, no.
Because they're not malicious anymore. Because they can't actually advertise anything to you anymore.
Exactly, and I don't know why. This feels like more like someone had to go in and design. Oh wait, are these stickers?
Are they? They look like they get punched out.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is
They're
more
coupons.
This is more I don't know. I'd rather get something like this than I don't know.
There's not a QR code on it or anything.
They get a pop-up ad. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is I'd be more inclined I can take this down to fucking
Just anything to avoid reminding me of modern day.
yeah. I like touching things, you know.
He sure does.
Anyway, awesome. Come back. Anywho, sorry. So the movies today, yeah, Mickey 17. Talking about a new movie today. Probably gonna release this before the Tenet episode, just because it's a new movie.
Yep.
But not to say that I'm really looking forward to hearing people's response to that. But anyway, yeah. So right now we're talking about Mickey 17, which is the new sci-fi comedy, or as Wikipedia says, science fiction dark comedy, produced, written, and directed by Bong Joon-ho. It is based on the 2022 sci-fi novel Mickey 7 by I guess 7 just wasn't enough.
Nah.
We gotta add.
Mickey 17 is a better title.
It does roll off the tongue better than Mickey 7.
Yeah.
Mickey 7 feels incomplete. By Edward Ashton. It stars Robert Pattinson in the title role, as well as another character, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
I
guess.
Stars alongside Naomi Ackie, Steve Yeun, Toni Collette, Mark Ruffalo. Kind of I feel these are people I see them in all the weird kind of these mid-high budget horror sci-fi Poor Things and stuff.
Nope.
And movies from Ari Aster and stuff. I feel like this is the squad of the kind of A and B list actors,
The A24s of the world.
Exactly. Always love to see them. Even in the movies. Something I like about all of this, most of this cast. Blossom, what the fuck are you doing? Sorry, our dog is.
She's whiling.
Yeah. Something about I feel like everybody in this cast is that these are all actors that even in movies where I wasn't a fan of movies, I told you I wasn't a fan of Poor Things.
Yeah.
I still thought Mark Ruffalo was good in it.
Yeah, he was great.
And I was still entertained by him. Fucking boss.
She's just wandering around.
Yeah.
Being a distraction.
But
yeah, no, Mark Ruffalo, and he's really good in this too. I mean, we'll get into it. There are some. I think he's great all around. When we left the theater, I was like, is there a single movie where Mark Ruffalo is the protagonist?
No, he's always second
he's either,
fiddle.
Yeah, he's either the secondary what was it? deuteronist or something like that. I don't.
Bitagonist.
I don't know. I just learned that word, and I will never use it again.
He's always the sidekick, or he's like a side character. Or the closest thing I can think of would be like 13 going on 30. He's the love interest. He's the rom-com love interest.
He's also in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh yeah, he's one of the technicians.
Yeah,
running the
and
machines.
he's just kind of there, and he's like, he's just having like his own little affair on the side.
Yeah, no, that's another movie we could definitely.
I love him though. Every movie I see him, I like him a little more. Especially these like weird movies where he gets to like really stretch into like a weird character.
Yeah, no,
this is a really good example.
There's a lot to talk about with him, and I definitely do, because I do have some thoughts on his character as well. But before we bust into that, let's talk a little bit about the director here. We have Parasite on the background for ambiance. Talk a little bit about Bong Joon-ho, the director here.
Yeah. What's
your kind of history with him? Like, what other movies? I've only seen Mickey 17 is the third film of his I've seen. I know he's got a lot more. I guess the three I've seen are the ones that like were big in America.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell me your history with him.
I like everyone else in the world. I saw and liked Parasite a lot. And I've seen this. What else has he done?
Snowpiercer.
Oh, I never saw Snowpiercer.
It's the first. That's my introduction to him.
Yeah, I never saw Snowpiercer. I never heard any opinions beyond neutral about Snowpiercer. I liked Parasite, and I liked this. I think about as like on par with Parasite. They're kind of hard movies to compare.
They're pretty different.
Yeah, Mickey 17 is like it's like a comedy more than anything else. It never really gets too serious at any point at all.
It goes to some dark places.
Yeah, it's dealing with dark subject matter, but the tone never drops below funny. Never drops like below being a light time.
Watching this movie reminded me of something like intelligent satire, like Mel Brooks. I was getting Mel Brooks energy from this movie, especially in some. What's the movie? The Producer, the one where it's like the Hitler documentary.
Hitler documentary.
Or it's like the movie.
The Producers. That's they make the play about the Nazis.
Yeah, but or something like I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen a movie like this where it's like we are tackling with such serious subject matter and like we're going to such dark places.
It's kind of like Dr. Strangelove.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like that kind.
It's like not hard to parse what it's talking about. In fact, it kind of beats you over the head with it, but it's fine because it's like we know.
To.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is like that. Yeah, like 60s, 70s kind of like. So one of the more goofier Twilight Zone episodes almost.
Yeah.
In the sense where it's like, that kind of like, it felt old school to me.
Like a good episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah. And I definitely understand why, I haven't looked into it, like, since last night. I have been looking at, like, some reviews and some things, and people are kind of mixed on this movie.
What?
In the zeitgeist.
Interesting.
Of, like, there's some people who...
What are the criticisms?
I think a lot of people went in expecting it to be more like Parasite. I think what
fuck
it is.
That.
Like that's like the main thing that people are like,
people are allowed to make different movies.
I watched the Oscars in 2017. I love Parasite. And
this is not that.
It is not that. And a lot of people I think just had a hard time dealing with the contrast between the tone and then what was actually going on. And we're just
you ever seen a dark comedy? Like,
I think
it's like the definition.
Yeah. Overall, I think people
it's a black comedy, I guess.
Yeah. Overall, people were expecting a just like a more serious thing. And
I wouldn't have liked that nearly as much, I don't think.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit. It's actually kind of funny that that's a response because it's making me think of and just speaking a little bit to my history with Bong Joon-ho is that the only other by the way, he's also directed Okja, which is on Netflix.
Oh, right.
I have not seen. I heard it was really good.
I've never seen that.
The Host in 2006, I heard was also good. He's got a lot of. I've heard about a lot of the rest of his movies, and after watching Mickey 17, I think.
Oh well.
Okay, well, we're people at home. I guess I must have pushed a button and
recording stopped without us knowing.
We stopped recording. We were talking for a good...
We just talked in a room without recording it for like 10 minutes and like idiots. Who does that?
More than 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. This is the first time this has happened Episode 72. I'm sorry, just to. I just want to talk about a little bit what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Because we talked about good shit.
We did.
But yeah, sorry for that technical issue, folks. I mean, I guess they don't notice it's really on us.
Yeah.
Multiple cuts. So this movie had a long post-production cycle.
Yeah.
The movie finished filming in 2023. And January 2023 is when this movie...
2 years ago.
Which is 2 years ago.
2-year post-production.
And the reason why is because in the editing room, there was a lot of creative disagreements between Bong Joon-ho and...
the goddamn studio.
And the producers of Universal on, there were multiple cuts of this film, 5 to 7 different cuts that were shown to test audiences in, varying degrees. And it was a long process to get to the final movie that we got. Bong Joon-ho has said in interviews that he's happy with it, but you can definitely tell... in the movie that there were plot ideas and sequences and plot lines that were supposed to be explored but weren't.
Yeah, there's a few things I mentioned the at the beginning. There's a flashback that really upsets him where he feels like he was a little kid and he pressed this little red button that's never explained in this car when his mom's driving and his mom crashed the car and died. Mm-hmm. And he blames himself for that.
Yeah.
There's one little throwaway line of dialogue later that references that. But I thought that there was going to be some well, then what did the red button do? I don't know.
Yeah.
that never came back, was never really explained.
No.
And there was a pseudo start to a love interest at
the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, with the woman who recruits him into the into the Expendables program. Yeah.
With Sylvester Stallone and
yeah.
and
Robert Pattinson in that movie just slumming it.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, no, really so beneath him. My goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, that woman at the beginning. I had a theory that was his mother, a clone of his mother.
Yeah.
Because he kept talking about the smell of her hair. It smells
I like that theory.
Familiar. Or he keeps talking about I have deja vu from smelling her, and I think that she was recruited and they're okay, she's a perfect Mickey would be a perfect subject for this, maybe because of something that's wrong with him or some kind of there's a reason why maybe he was targeted,
Yeah.
And yeah, just a theory. Another one I wanna briefly. We went into it a lot more during the. I feel so bad that shit was. I'm gonna be watching this the whole time.
Me too. My eyes keep going to it.
Yeah, to make sure that it keeps recording.
Yeah.
But there's an extended dream sequence at the end where it's revealed where it seems like Toni Collette and Mark Ruffalo have clones as well. They're also multiples.
Yeah.
But it's
it's a dream.
Yeah, it's shaken off as a bit of an anxiety dream that Mickey is having during the happy ending.
That definitely feels like a rewrite.
Yeah, that definitely feels like a thing that was originally actually in the plot.
That scene has so much drama and weight to it.
Yeah, and it's a big product. It's you have all your major actors there, and it's a big.
We see she references what she sees in the little portal, watching Mark Ruffalo get reprinted, and it's what's the point in having that if this is all just a dream?
Exactly. It just it felt like a lot. It's something that we mentioned during the deleted part when this movie gets a physical release, because I think Universal's good at that.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's either an extended cut or some really some deleted scenes that kind of go into these lost plot lines, because they're definitely there. That's not to say that I still really enjoyed what we got.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about let's talk about the movie a bit now, and that we didn't get to that. I don't want to talk about things that we talked about during that deleted part anymore.
that
really pissed me.
You're dead to us.
Yeah. That really fucks with my OCD.
It's fine. We got all the stuff I really wanted.
Yeah, it's all good. But anyway, so yeah, the plot of the movie, spoiler alert, just go see it. It's worth seeing.
Yes.
Is that it's the future. And it's a future that feels very much realistic for where we're going. It's a future where poor people are being exploited and the rich get access to all of this wonderful technology.
Yeah, it's the most. I find it the most realistic depiction of what the future of space travel would actually look like.
Yeah,
it's just we still need
to privatize.
We still got to bring we still need people to like fix the toilets and shit. So yeah, we'll have some poor people on the colony ships too.
Exactly. It's all the problems of late stage capitalism in space.
Yeah, the only way you're colonizing space is if you're fucking useful for it.
Exactly. Yeah, very Weyland Yutani would be all about the Expendables fucking technology.
It's like the Weyland colony at the beginning of Alien Romulus, but there's like a weirdly enough, there's like a weird nationalist religious element to it.
Exactly.
So it's just it's like Weyland Yutani, but way more connected to like America.
Yeah, Weyland Yutani, but way more like spawning. I feel like it's like Alien, but spawned off from this point in our political history.
Yes.
Because the ship that Mickey is
more context into what actually happens.
Yeah, because this movie takes place on this colony ship that is led by Mark Ruffalo's character, who is like this. He's a Trump figure. He's like I don't think
doing a Trump impression.
It's not just Trump. Like I feel like
he's doing like a 70% Trump impression.
Yeah.
But every now and then he'll slip into just 100% Trump.
Yeah.
And like I liked it better when he was kind of mixing like because he's kind of like he's throwing in like a few things. He's doing like sort of aristocracy like like he's clearly like a moron who's being just whose strings are getting pulled by multiple different people. But like his performance, it's like he's clearly a Trump analog to some degree for the story. And I think they could have resisted just having Mark Ruffalo just be Donald Trump. I think we would have gotten the picture otherwise. I think they could have gone a different, more interesting direction. Not to say I didn't love Mark Ruffalo in this movie. I think he's one of the best parts.
For me, I think he got more interesting to me throughout the movie because the way I see it in my head, this movie is has three very distinct acts in my brain. Like before the Mickeys meet, the middle of the movie where it's kind of just the two Mickeys trying to stay in hiding, and then the last third where the Mickeys are revealed. And I feel like in those, the first third, Mark Ruffalo is Trump. Like that's his main. That's mainly where he is the politician. He's that guy.
Right. He even does the dance.
He does the dance. The middle of the movie, he's giving like televangelist, like talk show host energy. Like he's doing like
he's just like a hollow vessel. He's performing whatever role that he's told to.
Exactly. Like he's just upholding the like the fucking
he's an empty suit,
the status quo.
And
then the last third of the movie he's like I call him Goofy Hitler, Dr. Evil. Like he's
being a strong man.
He's like full on like trying to give this like King Regal vibe, but it's so false.
It's all optics though. Like that's the whole point. Like the representative for the church that actually runs things in this universe, or like at least runs this colony. He's always talking about optics, and like he's like we'll get the footage, we'll get what we need, and I can twist into whatever story we need. So he's just an actor.
It's a thing where it's like I think the thing I like is the character to me always felt like a threat. As far as like, even though he's dumb, he's
got power.
He's got all the power. He's got all the influence, and he also knows how to torture and manipulate. Like he does know like
he's just this like cruel little kid.
Exactly. Like he knows how to manipulate people.
Meanwhile, Tony Collette's there, like the
in his
actual
ear.
Secret power behind
the intelligence.
I thought Elon when I saw that.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, they made this in 2023. This is so pressy and it's crazy. They made this when Trump wasn't even in office yet.
Or back in office.
Like because it feels so relevant. This movie. That's why it's so crazy that this wrapped principal photography in 2023.
That is an element that is crazy. But like I think a lot of that comes from the fact that one, what's going on now has gone on in history with like dictators and rulers and shit forever. And also, I think another element of it too is the fact that it is a foreigner's perspective. Like Bong Joon-ho's perspective is like, and that's a part of
unapologetic too.
It's unapologetic. It's blunt, but it's not trying to not be blunt.
No. I think that's the benefit you get from making it a comedy. Is you can be as broad as you want, and that just adds to the joke.
It reminds me a bit of the response that Don't Look Up got a few years ago, which I think this movie is much better. Mickey 17 is a much better movie than Don't Look Up.
I never saw it. Don't Look Up is a drama though, isn't it?
No, it's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
It's a dark comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I heard that it was way too on the nose.
It was very on the nose, but like this movie.
Yeah.
That was the point.
Did it wasn't add to the joke.
What? Yeah, I mean, like it just wasn't. It was a straight up just like allegory for climate change and people ignoring climate change in modern day politics, and like Meryl Streep was just a Lady Trump type deal. Like it was. Right. It was like straightforward, but I don't think it was like there's a scene you've probably seen clips of it where Leonardo DiCaprio like freaks out like in an interview.
Yeah, I saw that part
where it's like that, like he's really being like, what the fuck is like he's really
what is
reflecting,
wrong with you people? And
it's not playing it up for that scene for me. He's not playing it up for laughs, not playing it for a joke. Like he's being serious, and I think that like I feel like this is something that is kind of going away as far as like as the world is becoming more and more satire, you know what I mean? I feel like I think
that's what made this feel so prescient. I think
exactly. It's this thing where it's like if this movie
stuff was written as a joke in 2023, and now it's just like
exactly. I feel like if this movie came out earlier, it might not have been treated with the same level of. We might not be reacting to it with the same level of seriousness, giving it the same level of weight that it is, because like our reality is becoming so much more like it's becoming more and more reflecting of like this kind of thing, and that's also why something like Don't Look Up, this movie is getting a similar kind of negative reaction that I feel like Don't Look Up got. Like I still think it's much better than Don't Look Up, in that I think that people like don't want to have a. Some people like go to the movies and don't want to have a mirror put in, or don't want to see the reflective art in it. Like don't want to see. Like,
they're like, I don't want to get preached to. Movies are for turning my brain off. And it's like
don't want to be given a political message type deal.
There were a few parts in this movie that like almost did make me roll my eyes.
Yeah,
just how like on the nose it was.
There was one part in particular for me where I'm like, you didn't need that.
Yeah, exactly. And I might know what part you're talking about. But yeah, no, there's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of stuff that's like, I get it. I understand. I know. All right, I'm living it.
Yeah, it's the part where he got he got shot and grazed just
his
like
cheek.
Trump.
Yeah.
And it was very much
but was that shot before that happened? Because that was in 2024.
Oh, shit. Wait.
Was that a reshoot?
Whoa, hold up now.
Yeah. How is he a psychic?
Shit, that's a good point.
There was a lot. There was
that, okay, wait.
The part where Mark Ruffalo's like, we're going to create a new pure society on this pure white ice planet.
Wikipedia doesn't mention any reshoots after initial filming.
They must have done some.
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah.
Post-production, they must have done some reshoots.
I mean, him being shot, I mean, no, he has it for the rest of the movie. I was going to say maybe they put it in digitally.
Oh, yeah.
But he references it afterwards, and he has it throughout the movie.
That's wild.
Do
you think that happened and Bong Joon-ho was like, oh, shit.
I'm gonna see if I can figure out afterwards if it was something they added. Wait, that would mean they would have had to reshot that whole.
I don't think so. I don't think that was a reshoot.
If that was like an unrelated thing, then yeah, I take back. I'm not mad about it.
They would have had to reshoot it in like the last 6 months.
If that was just a coincidence, then I take back my critique. If that really was just like that's just how it turned out, never mind.
I think I feel like it is. Yeah.
All right then. Well,
that being a reshoot, because like, what does that add?
Exactly.
We already know it's Trump. He's doing a Trump impression.
Exactly.
He's orange and everything.
Yeah. There were other moments aside from that one that did almost, but like, but yeah, no. For me, I think there's more to the performance and there's more to the character than just a Trump impression. And like I said, he did feel like a threatening villain to me for the reasons like we mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're introduced to Mickey's. The movie opens with like Mickey 17 waking up in like a frozen cavern. And he's surprised, like, oh, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
And we get his like whole thing about like how he got into the program and stuff, and like how
Steve Yeun shows up.
Steve Yeun shows up, who is his buddy.
He's like,
in
oh
quotes.
shit, Well, give me the thing you were working on.
Yeah.
See you later.
Oh yeah, no, I can't come down there. I don't want to risk it. Sorry.
No one he is literally at the bottom of the totem pole for everybody in this movie. Like,
everybody shits
he
on
is
him.
treated like shit, and that's like the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely. He's tricked into like there's a part where in a flashback where he's like, yeah, they sent me to do the stupid tasks, and they think he's out there like fix a terminal. He's like, hey guys, this thing, it's fixed already. Like, yeah, Mickey, we actually just sent you out there to see the effects of radiation.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me know when your skin starts burning.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. Like they can go that extreme because it is a comedy.
Yeah.
But it's perfect. I mean, like everyone, like he's completely dehumanized just because he can be reprinted.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, you die, but it doesn't matter. There's a part where because they're testing pathogens on him, like local pathogens, and he dies repeatedly until they get a vaccine. One time he's like still alive in the bag before they throw him in the incinerator, and he's like, he's still alive. And I was like, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? Throw him in.
And they throw him in, and it's like that was to me was like one of the hardest hitting parts because it's like
can't have no multiples.
It's like that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. That's probably how people would react too.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. It's very realistic in that like years ago, if you had shown me this in like 2015, and been like, oh no, they wouldn't treat the clones like that. Yeah, they would.
No, they would. Yeah, people absolutely would.
Yeah. But yeah, he's treated as a lower class citizen. So Steve Yeun, these creatures show up as a big element. There are these native creatures on the planet. They're a huge element. Let's talk about these creatures. The creepers, which Mark Ruffalo calls them. They should have a better name because it turns out that they're
Minecraft creepers the whole time.
They're friendly. These big, they look like woolly mammoth bug worms. Like I think they're a really good design. They
kind of look like furry versions of the brain bug in Starship Troopers.
Yeah. They look like a cool No Man's Sky animal. Like a No Man's Sky animal that'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers definitely the kind of thing. Actually, these could almost be like the quote unquote real bugs that the Starship Troopers is like pretending are the you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, we think that Robert Pattinson gets eaten by them in the opening. Steve Yeun thinks that he's it's a little bit hard to tell, just because it's cut. This movie is kind of all over the place in terms of the timeline. I was able to follow it, but it definitely did take a second as far as because there are long periods where we're within flashback time, and then we're back to the current timeline. It's
told non-linearly.
Yeah,
It picks up in the middle, and then it gives backstory up until that point, and then
exactly
continues.
To the point where I remember when the title card for the movie popped up, I'm like, wait, that was the opening?
Yeah,
I thought the movie was just in it.
I mean, a lot of a good portion of this movie is just establishing backstory for the actual story.
Yeah,
and that happens after he thinks he's about to get eaten, but in fact he's just saved. Yeah, the
worm guys just pull him, just push him out to safety, bring him back to the ship or whatever.
And it's been a full day, and they've already printed his replacement.
They already printed Mickey 18, which I want to ask you, did you notice, another thing that I've seen people complain about, that is something they're like, which I fully saw they gave a reason for this. There's a reviewer I follow who said specifically, something that bothered me was that Mickey 18 is the dark, fucked up Mickey, but they never really explained why he was a psychopath. But they did.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they did?
No. My interpretation was he remembers being completely left for dead, and at this point, he said he goes through and he says this Mickey was an asshole. This Mickey was kind of annoying. They kind of all they don't come out exactly identical to each other. They all kind of have slightly different personalities, from how it sounds. So I took it as that mixed with what happened to Mickey 17 jaded him to the point of saying, well, fuck this.
So they specifically show, and I understand why I think a lot of people might have missed it, because it was in the first 5 minutes of the movie. We see Mickey, so within the first 5 minutes, we see Mickey 18 being printed. And it's kind of hard to tell where it is. It's after we think that Mickey 17 got eaten by the worm guys. We see the new Mickey being cloned. and one of the scientists are just fucking. That's another thing too. The scientists are just fucking around.
One of the plugs comes undone.
Yeah, and like the brain plugs that are like uploading Mickey's brain back gets unplugged for a second. The scientist is like, "Oh shit," and plugs it back in.
Yeah,
and that's why he's fucked up. And
interesting.
How I took it was when they mentioned later in the movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, Mickey 3 was like this, and Mickey 4 was like clingy and stuff." I interpreted that as like these Mickeys just get fucked up because because beyond just the plugs being the scientists don't really take that much care. Yeah. Sometimes the table's not there and he falls out of the thing.
Everyone's just at work in this movie the whole time. Exactly. No one really gives a shit. Because that's kind of like one of the points of the movie you could probably have already assumed is just like when everybody's struggling and everyone's just trying to get through the day, it's really hard to have empathy for the less fortunate or other people in the same situation because your situation's already hard enough and you're just trying to get through the week. And that's just another side effect of capitalism. Bong Joon-ho loves his capitalism.
Yeah. but yeah, no, that whole thing with like the way I interpret is that anytime a Mickey comes out weird or comes out different, it's because there was some kind of like little fuck up in the making new Mickey process. That's how I took it. And that to me completely is like, okay, that's why Mickey 18 is so different.
Sure.
Like it completely covered it up for me.
It made sense to me just that like the printing process isn't like 100% perfect, so they just come out kind of different every time.
Either of our interpretations make sense for it, but
they're both explained in the movie. So.
But I've seen people be really bothered by that in reviews.
The thing that I was confused by was his memories are uploaded like once a week, right? So there's no big gaps in his memory. How does he remember dying?
Well, you see.
How does he remember anything that happens after that memory upload?
Well, in that case, I mean, I don't know if they specifically say that Mickey 18 remembers being killed by the bugs.
I think, but he remembers what Stephen Yoon does to him. How Stephen Yoon left him behind.
That's true.
That I was confused by that. I assumed that I just missed something.
Before they specifically said like they have to copy my brain like once a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Before they said that,
on the brick.
Before they said that, I assumed that it was he. I assumed that he was like wirelessly backing up, like Dropbox, like
maybe
wirelessly back.
No, but they like have to hook up wires to his brain and suck his memories out.
Yeah, they specifically say that like once a week they got to make a new copy. So yeah,
that goes into this weird prop, this brick.
Oh yeah,
like this literal red brick with sci-fi stuff on it.
That is a good prop. By the way, I know what my prop is for this movie. It's not that, but that would be a good prop. That
didn't make any sense to me. It felt like too big of an oversight for. I guess I just have too much faith in the director. That's like an oversight that he made.
You think you missed something?
I trust him more than my own ability to pay attention to a movie. I guess
that's fair. Even if that is legitimately an open plot hole, that is something for me. Like I don't know, I can roll with it.
Well, it's like a big part of his character, though. Everyone asks him what it's like to die, and it's obviously traumatic for him.
Yeah.
But it's like, A, why would you want him to remember how he dies? And B, can he?
Maybe it's a thing where like if the body is like if the head survives or whatever, maybe they can like scan the brain or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, that is something where like upon a rewatch, like yeah, when the Mickey's 17 Collector's Edition Blu-ray comes out, we'll see if they explain that.
Yeah, we'll do a rewatch.
Yeah, Mickey 18's already printed. Mickey 17 makes it the worm, the pill bug worm, the creepers save him. He goes back to his room. Mickey 18's there, and they're like, "Fuck, we're multiples." And we get do you want to talk about? There's like a quick little backstory as to like why multiples are illegal.
It was kind of one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Really?
Yeah. I really liked it. I liked the concept.
Yeah.
It's because it's so one of the scientists who developed the technology for printing ended up being a serial killer he printed a copy of himself where one of them would be at work and the other would be murdering, so he would have an alibi. And that raises like all these weird ethical questions that really just I took it as just no one in society really felt like dealing with.
Yeah.
So
It's like it's too much
it's
work.
like, oh my god, this is so much. Like, there's so much to think about. But yeah, no, it really just comes down to it was just humans can't be trusted with this tech, obviously, and also it brought up all these questions that conflict with our like spiritual beliefs as a society. So and it was Mark Ruffalo's character who's just like, now this means that we just can't have multiples, and if we do find multiples, then they both have to die.
Yeah, just making it just using
Scorched earth.
Yeah, it's this. I feel like you could interpret it a bit as like what's going on with like trans people a little bit in the same element of like multiple. If you're a multiple, you're a slight against God or whatever.
Yeah, this conflicts with the way we have already established our society, and instead of just changing that, we're just going to outlaw this thing.
Yeah, it might be. It also there's also an element in there too of like I feel like there's a little bit of a commentary just on like being a sexual deviant or whatever, especially when it comes into we haven't even mentioned her yet. When it comes into
Nasha.
Is it Nasha or Nasha?
I don't know.
I think
Probably just depends on your accent.
Nasha. I've seen this actress a lot. Naomi Aki, who is she shows up in the most random shit. She was, I don't know if you
she's great in this.
You know who she was did you saw Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, right?
Yeah.
She was the girl ex-stormtrooper.
Oh.
That Finn meets.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, she's got like, she lives like on a colony with a bunch of other ex-stormtroopers and stuff.
Sure.
In Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, okay, yeah, where the Death Star is.
Yeah, that was her. How far she has come.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she was also
in good sci-fi now.
She was also in Blink Twice, which is not a good movie, but she's really good in it.
Was it? Bummer.
I got problems with that movie.
Never saw it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do an episode on it. But yeah, Naomi Aki is Nasha. Yeah, it is Nasha.
Sure.
It's Nasha. It's fucking Nasha.
Nasha.
She is like a security guard on the ship, and she is a bad motherfucker.
She's a badass.
She's she does all the action stuff in this movie, which there's like some set pieces. Like she's like a great fighter. She's like a good shot with a gun.
Yeah. She's very quick to anger when you fuck with her loved ones, which is a very the relationship between Mickey and her
is really interesting.
It's so well done. It's like they have such good chemistry, and they're always laughing with each other, and they've got like their inside jokes, and that comes up as like that comes back up multiple times.
Not just her and Mickey 17 either, and it's a thing. It's also her and she. It's clear that she. Now, it doesn't, like, you from outside, something I thought was interesting about it, from outside the movie, like, you can bring in your own interpretations as to, like, are they different people, are they whatever. She very clearly sees Mickey as one soul.
Yeah, as one person.
And any multiples of him is, like, this is just different part, even if they're a little bit different, like Mickey.
They're both the guy that I like,
Yeah, they're both the guy that I like, and they both are, like, just pieces of this human soul that she very clearly perceives them as like one entity, even to the point where like something I thought was interesting, she refers to them as them throughout the whole movie. Like never like he's Mickey, this guy Mickey, like it's always like they're
Mickey
as an entity, they're Mickey. And you really just see how much she cares about them, down to like the scene I think about that just makes me the saddest, but it's like, damn, this is some good sci-fi shit. When she's in the death pod with him, like she's in like a hazmat suit while he's like dying of like they're trying to find the vaccine to the virus or whatever, and
they're just like doing their own thing. No one's even paying attention to him because he's not even a person anymore.
Yeah, and she's like holding him while he's dying of like awful diseases, like in this thing, and like it's really weird.
One person who cares.
Yeah, no, it's just really well done, interesting sci-fi ass relationship in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of cool stuff, and it doesn't. The fact that it's a comedy helps you take it seriously that much more.
Yeah,
like it's not insisting upon itself.
It insists upon itself, Lois. Yeah, I feel like the comedy. does the job of making you like the characters that you want to like.
Yeah.
And being invested in the people.
These villains are so hateable too.
Yeah. Although they're fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah, he does not let up on them being like they can be comically evil because it's a comedy.
No, they're cartoons.
Yeah.
That's not, I've seen people complain about the villains and how cartoony they are, but like, yeah, it's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
It's a satire.
Whatever.
Like,
it was entertaining.
yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Whatever avenue you want to take to entertain me the whole time.
Exactly. Like the movie, it gave me
going to stick out in my brain.
It's the movie.
His weird puffy face the whole time. I don't know how they got Mark Ruffalo's face so puffy.
There was another movie. His performance reminded me of a particular villain performance that it was taking me so long to figure out, like, what is this reminding me of? What's it? And you know what it was? Did you ever see the Matthew Broderick Inspector Gadget?
Yes. As a kid.
Do you remember Evil Inspector? Like, they make like an evil Inspector Gadget.
Oh yeah, with his weird fake teeth.
His weird fake teeth.
That's in the sequel, isn't it?
No, that's number one.
That's in number one.
Number one is because it's French Stewart in the sequel.
Oh,
it's not Matthew Broderick.
Okay. It's even weirder.
Yeah, but and yeah, he's got the fake teeth and he's like kind of jittery.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo's performance was giving evil Inspector Gadget
because he has fake teeth in this.
Yeah, he's got these like fake ass.
Honestly,
veneers.
that's a lot of what I was looking at every time he was on screen. I was just looking at his weird teeth.
It felt like it was hard to talk, but
Yeah.
it added to
it's great
like how fake this character felt.
Yeah, I love Mark Ruffalo just doing a weird bad guy.
Yeah, no, he's just such a
yeah.
He's got a really weird expressive face.
Yeah.
No.
He's just give him a weird accent, give him a weird voice.
Mm-hmm.
Let him go crazy with how evil he can be.
Exactly, let him go nuts.
That's what he's good at. I think he's wasted on the Hulk, to be honest.
He's too good an actor.
He never does anything.
Yeah, period. They never give him anything to do because
he's too good to be in those movies.
The reason why the Hulk, it's that we haven't gotten like a solo Hulk movie and why it's been so hard to is because the Marvel's deal with the Hulk is very similar to their deal with Spider-Man, in that the character of the Hulk is owned by Universal.
Yeah.
And the deal with Disney is the same. It's like you can have him in other shit. You just cannot make a Hulk movie. Yeah,
Whatever, man.
Which at this point, I don't want to see an MCU Hulk movie because they'd fuck it up anyway.
I'm so bored with the MCU. I've been bored with the MCU for like 10 years now. I'm gonna be real.
Ant-Man Quantumania is what did it for me. Or actually, no, earlier than that. What was before that?
I saw Endgame and I was like, I'm tapping.
Whatever came out after No Way Home was the last time I cared.
Yeah,
and that was really just for Spider-Man.
I didn't even care. I just had a fun time.
Yeah, I was just there I was more there for the old Spider-Man than MCU. Really, I was there for Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, same here. I just want to see the spectacle.
Exactly.
Anyway,
back to Mickey 17. But yeah, no, we're talking about the villains. We talked a bit about Nasha. Yeah, Nasha was really cool.
Yeah, Nasha's great.
That's
Steven Yeun's great. A good secondary villain.
Yeah. And I remember what I wanted to say, like you with her character, and something I feel like is another thing, sexual deviance, quote unquote, and like sexual purity and stuff is I also think is an element that they're kind of they're bringing in here as far as like, because she's, how do I put it? And this isn't a slight against the character, but like she is. This is a thing about her. She's kind of a freak.
Yeah, she
like,
is.
Like they're kind of like she's into like kind of.
Well, yeah, they're just super. She's dating Robert Pattinson, so they fuck in every single position they can come up with.
Exactly. And then when she has the two Mickey, she's like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, she's just like, two Robert Pattinsons.
No, like this is fucking awesome. And it's a thing about her, and it's just like it's an aspect of her character, and it's something that like she's it's not seen as like I don't know, it's not treated as unacceptable at all, and it's something where it's like I feel like I feel like you bring your Republican grandma to this, and then she'd be like, "Oh my word!"
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it's just that element there. Just like, yeah, I thought she was a really well written character.
Yeah, and she does a really good job, especially later. She does that like the speech at the end of Barbie where that lady is just like going crazy on all the frustrations of living in like This was what
you wanted out of that.
Yeah, well, yeah, this had that like rage that you feel, that I feel at least. Like
that's true. She was
when I doom scroll for a while. Like she's just like, what the fuck is going on?
She says everything.
Why do I feel like
say?
no one's listening to the people that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and the end of this movie definitely is the scientists gonna come in and save the day.
Yeah,
because we get the sense that like the scientist and like there's been like people at work in the background to like overthrow this government, basically. Oh boy, wouldn't it be nice? But but yeah, no, and she's a part of she's great.
She is great
for the movie. Yeah, no, and it's I feel like a lot of the people who do love this movie and praise it are gonna kind of overlook her as far as like, because every performance is great, and I think at the heart of it and who it really just wouldn't work without is Robert Pattinson. No one else could play this character.
No,
like no one else, or both 17 and 18. The dynamic between them, just like the
because he does. They are very different characters. We were talking about how Mickey is Steve-O, or Mickey 17 is Steve-O, and you said Johnny Knoxville, but he's also kind of Batman.
Yeah.
He's like, this city's...
He doesn't give a fuck. Like, we gotta kill this.
I have to kill Donald Trump.
I'm gonna shoot this. Yeah, no, just like...
He comes to the conclusion, watching TV, he sees that guy, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill that guy.
Yeah, and I love the scene where... I also love the scene where... They also... Okay, how do I put it? There are a lot of movies where there's the same actor playing two characters and like they're talking and interacting.
This is seamless.
It's perfect throughout the movie. There's never a moment where you're like, it's green
They have
screeny.
perfected that technology.
Yeah, like I remember this would almost have been a good movie to pair Moon with, but like there were some scenes in Moon where I could tell like Sam Rockwell's talking to a tennis ball on a stick or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this, like, whenever they interact, whenever they're in a screen together, the timing's perfect. Like, they do feel like, even, there are fight scenes where they're fighting each other, and it's just like, it's just two Robert Pattinsons.
Right. It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a scene where Mickey 17 tells Robert Pattinson what Mark Ruffalo did to him at like this dinner, which that was a crazy scene of itself.
That's a great scene.
About to shoot him, and Mickey 18 is getting pissed. Like, I can't believe he fucking did that to you. Are you fucking kidding? Like, and and they develop a bit of a brotherly relationship. Yeah, in that, like,
it's like, you fucking weak asshole.
Yeah, like almost like a asshole older brother.
He's pissed at 17 for being the parts one. The parts of himself that he doesn't like in hindsight. Like, that got him here. It's just accepting the raw deal just for the sake of running away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a really layered. They are really layered performances, and they do feel like very distinct. And it's also just interesting how I didn't expect literally the 17th Mickey to be like the main character. Yeah, like I thought this movie was going to take place over a broader course of time.
Yeah. Well, because it looked like he was going to die at the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is a story about this clone and like what this clone specific clone
last
experiences.
One. Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, and I thought it was beautiful. Like, at the end of the movie, he's Mickey Barnes.
Yep.
And that's another thing too. Now I feel like we kind of gone through a lot of what we want to talk about.
Yeah, we went through the whole plot pretty much.
Yeah.
And there's some parts that I think are really good that would probably be worth mentioning, but I think you should just see the movie.
Yeah, go check it out.
There's nothing that I'm going to say about like the dinner scene that is going to do it justice.
Something I did want to mention. I liked something I did want to mention, something as far as like what had an impact, like one more little scene I'll talk about. When he first talks to the worm guy.
Yeah.
To the worm guy, like the scientists literally just make a bullshit translator.
Yeah,
they never explain the science.
It's whatever. It's a sci-fi movie.
It doesn't matter. Sci-fi years, and like it felt like
works.
It felt like a rival or something. Like the way the language, like you killed hate. Explode.
Yeah,
like it was a creepy voice.
Blow up your brains and your eyes.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. Yeah, this movie doesn't need a sequel. It's like it wraps it all in a bow.
Yeah, no way.
It is a very contained story.
It's a good little sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
I hope it gets nominated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bong Joon-ho hasn't made a sequel to any of his movies yet. I don't think,
should he.
And I don't think that anybody has. Well, actually, the only thing I can think. Well, Snowpiercer, they made a TV show,
right?
But I don't think I haven't seen anything. I think the TV show is unrelated to the movie.
Weird.
No, I think it's just a different interpretation of it because that is based off a book.
Weird.
But yeah, it doesn't need a sequel. Really wraps up well at the end. What's your prop?
I like the brick.
You want the
I
brick?
think the brick is so weird and out of place in this movie. All the tech, honestly, it doesn't go the standard sci-fi route where all sci-fi movies kind of end up looking the same. The props in this movie look so strange and like utilitarian. And the brick is so out of place because it just looks like a regular red brick like used in building a house. And it's just got like a handle and some lights on the side, and this is the hard drive that we back up Mickey's brain into. It's like, all right, why does it look like that? Don't worry about it. That's what I want. I want the brick. I think it'd look cool on a shelf.
That's a good choice. Yeah, there's a lot of good. We didn't mention it. Like, there's a lot of really good just production design in the.
Yeah, it does look. It's a cool looking movie.
Sets and devices and costumes. Like, it is really.
Yeah.
But that just shows how good it is as far as like. There's a lot of other shit that's great too. It's
it's a solid sci-fi movie.
It's a good fucking movie. People say they want original shit. They want good movies. They're tired of Marvel.
And then something like this comes out, and all they do is fucking criticize.
Exactly. Go fuck you piece of shit. Like, oh, this movie's weird. Fuck you.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Anyway, my prop is up. There's like a trash robot thing.
Yeah.
That like goes. I don't know what it was.
That thing is cool as hell.
It just like starts. I liked how it got to the stairs, and then it kind of just like goes at an angle, and then
it starts going up the stairs.
It's like a little blue trash. It reminded me of
it's
like
a big gonk.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a big blue gonk droid.
Yeah,
and I don't know what about it. I just thought it stuck out in my head.
I'm
I thought
a fan.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
I want the trash robot, but there's a lot of other good props to have. Like I think I hope that like at Comic-Cons and shit, we're gonna see like twin cosplayers as like Mickey 17, 18 at the end when they have like the bomb vests on, and
I
like
hope so.
They're spray painted with 17 and 18. I thought that was cool.
I hope this movie gets a lot of traction, to be honest. I hope it's not just like comes and goes.
Exactly. And you know what? It's interesting. I think this is the soonest after a movie has come out that we've talked about it. Yeah. Because this is opening week. It's Saturday.
The next day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday is Friday. It's opening weekend now. So like we can't even really discuss what the I know what the initial critic response is, but we don't know its box office yet. We don't know.
I hope people like it.
Exactly. Yeah. I hope that it sticks.
Because I like it.
I don't think it's going to stick as much as something like Parasite, because it is definitely, I think, less digestible than Parasite.
Yeah.
To like a wide audience. But yeah, hopefully it gets traction. But yeah, Mickey 17. Go fucking check it out.
Go see it.
Yeah, now we're probably going to take a quick piss poop break.
I have to piss and poop.
You're going to hear us. So for those of you listening to the episode, we are going to travel through time, but you're going to hear us talk about the movie we just watched, The Island, directed by Michael Bay.
I've never seen it until 2 minutes from now.
We're gonna record a commentary track for it, and then the discussion we have afterwards is going to be the next part of this episode. So
probably be the smaller portion of this episode.
Yeah, probably not going to talk about it that long. We talked a lot about. You know what? Yeah. If we didn't miss that fucking, if we didn't,
we missed like 10 minutes of talking.
10 minutes of talking. We almost stuck for an hour still. Website. What the fuck? So many things. But yeah, no. So it'll be instantaneous for y'all. It'll be 2 hours for us.
Yep.
But yeah, stick around to hear us talk about The Island.
Stay here.
2 hours later.
That sucked.
That was The Island.
There were good parts and there were a lot of bad parts.
That's exactly where I'm gonna make the cut. So for people are they're gonna hear. Okay, we'll be back for us. We'll be back in an instant. Ready? We just finished watching The Island. For people at home, you'll hear this in the regular episode.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about our opinions on it. So Joseph, it sucks, he said.
Yeah, it does. I mean, there are parts I liked. The chase scene in the middle was pretty cool. It was a good action scene. There was some cool like set design. I could see where it was going from like the get-go. And like, I don't know. It's an interesting sci-fi premise that's been done before.
Yeah,
and this is the dumbest it's been done.
Yeah, nothing about this movie was original as far as like but before this and since this, there have been a lot of science fiction films that have.
It's Jock Blade Runner.
Yeah, it is Jock Blade Runner. It's pretty dumbhead. I think
it's got the poop and boob jokes that you expect from this man.
The strongest elements
Michael
of this.
Bay.
the strongest elements of this movie for me were some of the parts where it really got into the and I've been thinking about this, or where it almost leaned into some horror elements of it.
Yeah, well, there's like some weird body horror here and there.
Yeah, like
It
mostly
got really dark at points.
mostly in the first third, like when we see like the reveal of what happens to the clones when they're taken to the island, and like how Michael Clark Duncan's death in general, that whole sequence of him being dragged, like that was the best scene in the movie for me. That was the scene where I legitimately felt the most.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you wanted to do this exact movie, you know who could do this right?
What?
Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Like if you come at this whole thing of like harvesting organs
agree.
and stuff, I feel like
the lady who did The Substance.
Yeah, exactly. Curly foot. Like taking it in a horror, like body horror direction.
Hey, we should probably explain what this movie's about.
Oh yeah. So it's so weird.
The island.
The island. So basically,
the island is Michael Bay taking a swing at the clone android replicant movie.
Yeah.
With a lot of like the escape from dystopian dystopia, like everyone dresses the same, conformist dystopia 70s movie.
Yeah, which is weird because the movie very much seems like from the opening it doesn't want you to know that it's about clones.
Yeah.
But
back of the box does.
The back of the box, like it says, like, yep, they're
gives
clones.
away the first half hour of the movie.
Yeah, but that's like the plot reveal.
Yeah.
Basically, so yeah, the premise is like all of these clones are in this facility. They're grown there, and they're lied to, and immediately they're told that they're the last survivors of like some kind of worldwide apocalypse. Like the outside world's contaminated. Not every day, but like occasionally there is a lottery, quote unquote, like a fake lottery that happens where one of them is chosen to go to the island, which is they are told is like the last refuge, like the only safe, healthy place on Earth.
Yeah,
it's a paradise. When in reality, the people who they are clones of has suffered some kind of injury or demands something of their bodies.
Yeah, it's actually a much less interesting version of the future.
Exactly.
Where it's just kind of modern day, but the cars look cool.
Yeah. And then their organs are harvested and their bodies gotten rid of and killed.
Yeah.
And Ewan McGregor is a clone.
He's boring white man number one.
He's literally just built different.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
Scarlett Johansson is woman in Michael Bay movie.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor as a clone basically questions his environment. He eventually finds out what's really going on. He escapes, and then the rest of this movie is pretty like
there's a big chase.
Yeah, the second 2/3 of this movie is pretty much just the company hunting them down.
Yeah,
and
he finds the guy who he's cloned from,
and he's a creep.
Yeah, and then there's another car chase, and that guy betrays him, so he dies, and he takes over the guy's life, and he honestly feels no remorse whatsoever about it. He immediately bangs Scarlett Johansson after that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like
the dude, he's like, this guy is a sexual rival.
Yeah, no.
And now he will die.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's dumb. There is a really solid car chase in this movie.
That was a good action sequences. Actual practical cars being flipped and blown up and thrown and cut in half. I think Michael Bay is much better. As far as action sequences go, with cars, he's much better with than like hand-to-hand fights. Like all of like the hand-to-hand fights in his movies like are just that shaky cam bullshit.
Yeah. But
not even like in a way that adds energy, like something like the Bourne movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's so this movie it really is the dumbest version of this premise. Like it's because Michael Bay is such a jock director, and he's got the sense like I say him multiple times in this commentary, but I am not a fan of Michael Bay. My sensibilities and his are just like on opposite ends of like the movie spectrum, and this is him making a movie that probably would be cool in another director's hands for me.
Yeah.
But it's weird because it's like a sci-fi movie that's not really that interested in like questioning like the premise.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like it doesn't go anywhere. Like it's like he escapes this. It's a sci-fi movie, and then there's action scenes kind of shoehorned in sporadically, but there's a lot of time when there's like just kind of nothing happening.
Yeah.
But like nothing anyone's talking about is interesting. There's just like poop jokes and boob jokes. That's not my thing.
There's I'm sorry, Courtney just sent me a funny message. Yeah, no, there's a lot of the middle of this movie is just kind of them walking through the city, or just running away. A lot of running, just a lot of filler, kind of like action that that doesn't really mean anything. Oh yeah, Steve Buscemi's in this movie, as their like friend, and he's kind of fun.
He's kind of fun for a little while.
Yeah.
I called it though. I called that he was gonna exposition dump and then die immediately after.
Yeah, and you called several like whole ass.
Yeah, well, that's because this is such a Hollywood ass movie.
Yeah.
There's so many of this movie.
Even down to like when
it's sci-fi in quotation marks, dude.
When you find out like why they even have them as like a slaves, like they like let them like walk around and live or whatever. Literally, you called it's like they have to experience life. In order for
I was like they don't have a soul
or their bodies will fail.
What is that fucking like? My organs still work if I'm in a coma. Why wouldn't you just grow them without brains and then just like grow like or just grow the separate?
Yeah, just grow the I feel like growing the individual organ. Like if you can clone the whole person,
just have a set of organs like
that's
that you
true.
that you keep under someone's name. You know,
keep
it in like cryostasis or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's a thing where it's like, after rewatching it, I remember just seeing this movie when I was really young. It was just on some TNT or like some random cable network, and I remember it vividly.
It's a super uninteresting take on this interesting premise, and like
go watch Mickey 17 instead.
It's like I was saying, like the Michael Biehn is the bad guy, and he's the head. Like he's keeping the fact that these clones are not just like comatose a secret from like the rest of the world, because apparently that goes beyond the Geneva Convention. So in this future, all of humanity agrees that having clones be alive just for like organ harvesting is immoral. So there's not like a moral question. Like that's just already been decided in this movie. So like he's just like this comical bad guy, and like this completely defeats the purpose of this even being a sci-fi story to begin with and having this premise. It's just like a vehicle for like not even interesting sci-fi action. They're just car chases. Like they could have been anywhere. And then, like I said, the real interesting version of this movie takes place after, like, because, of course, Ewan McGregor frees the slaves, because his name is Lincoln, called that shit, too.
Yeah, right off the bat.
He frees everyone at the end, and they all just kind of walk out in the desert. And I'm like, this is where the real interesting movie starts.
It's like, what do we do with all these clones of rich people?
Because, like, most people are going to see these people as, like, second-class citizens, right? If they even see them as people at all. Like, what's going to happen? Like, are they going to... like I see like a District 9 or something, like they get put into ghettos or whatever.
There's also exactly, there's definitely going to be a clone ghetto.
That's interesting.
A clone slum.
A sci-fi dystopia like that needs to be like systemic. That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, it just really does kind of like be like Michael Bay wanted it to just be modern day, but they're like, you have to throw in some sci-fi shit. Like
exactly.
Like when they went to LA, it just kind of looked like a modern city, but they had some CGI like flying trains rolling around. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, it's...
These concepts have to be, like, a question that, like it's a political talking point in this world. That's what makes Blade Runner interesting. Every point in Cyberpunk 2077, like, that's what makes good sci-fi for me, is big questions and debating. But this did not even need to be a sci-fi movie.
No. Not really. Yeah, it is
to get like these action vehicles.
Yeah,
this was closer to Face Off than Blade Runner.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what, like, as far as like what kind of mood I would recommend. I'd recommend watching this movie if you're gonna make fun of it. With a group of friends.
I mean, I was entertained, like hanging out and talking over it.
Yeah, no, it's it's the kind of movie.
It's extremely formulaic.
Yeah, it really is just predictable to also for me, it really just lost its steam after the first third. For me was the strongest.
Yeah,
pretty much. Like I thought that like the pace at which they were kind of like him sneaking around the facility and like finding things. I feel like that should have been a bigger part of the movie.
I agree.
Like I feel like as far because that's the first third. I feel like what it would need to be is a solid if it's an hour and a half, 45 minutes of the movie. Literally, the first half is him figuring out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the middle of the movie, like the thing that is like the biggest height is him seeing all the horrific things happening to his fellow clones.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's also the coolest set in the movie.
Yeah, the coolest set in the movie. And just like the reveal of like all of the cloning technology. So like all of that shit I thought was really interesting and cool. And then the second half can be a much tighter chase.
Yeah.
Because like most of this movie is just really just bloated, like these characters walking around.
Yeah,
and
this
like
movie did not need to be two hours and change.
in 20 minutes. Yeah. I think that's where it really, I feel like there is like,
it's not smart. It's like this movie doesn't even have the pretense of being smart enough for that.
Yeah. Because like ultimately, yeah, I feel like it just, it didn't feel like it didn't feel consistently fun and like, in the sense that, like, yeah, like it needed to have a much tighter edit. I think
it had the tone of an action movie with very reduced action.
Yeah,
yeah, it was yeah. I'd say it's definitely got, especially that first third. It's got that. It nails that early 2000s like silver plastic like curved screen retro future tone to it. So if you're looking for like cyberpunk that's not set in the 80s but in the early 2000s, this has your aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I'm in a weird place with this because this movie is very much in the middle of the road for me as far as like there are things I like. There's a lot that's boring.
Exactly.
But I don't know. It's not movies that are bad for me are like movies that like something like I don't know. I find Jumper more entertaining than something like this. Jumper got in and out. Jumper was an hour and a half.
That definitely bumps it above this.
Yeah, like something Jumper was also stupid.
Yeah,
and like, but like at least it got it. Yeah, this was just it was too long. That was my biggest problem. It was too long.
This movie was too long for what it was.
Watch the first 30 minutes. I don't know. Smoke a bowl during the middle, and then
or watch a better movie.
Yeah, watch.
I'm gonna go so far as to say you should probably just watch like Blade Runner or something.
Watch the cool scenes on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's my recommendation. Do we have props?
Yeah, I kind of want the big. I know they actually make these, but I want the big touchscreen table with the prism that you use to control it.
The little prism switch that was cool.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I remember seeing that and thinking, "Whoa!"
Only if it works.
Yeah. Fuck it. This is hard. I'm trying to think of something.
Hard. There's not a lot in here.
Maybe an Ewan McGregor side. Yeah, there aren't a lot of like.
You know what? Can I change my prop?
Go ahead.
I want the nervous system in the bag.
Ooh, that's good.
Because they grow clones as adults.
Yeah.
In like big plastic pods. That stuff looked cool.
Where would you put that? That shit did look cool.
I'd have it as like a beanbag.
Yeah. A beanbag. A waterbed being a gel filled.
You're just hanging out with your buddy.
That's funny. Oh god. Yes. This is my clone. I keep him in a bag.
I don't know. I'm hanging from a wall or something.
You know, that's funny. Hanging from a wall. Yeah, god, there isn't a lot of unique. Oh, I know. One of the hover bikes during the hover bike.
That's a pretty cool.
That fucking PS
don't fit with the rest of the movie.
The Xbox 360 ass looking.
Also, there are like 20 brand deals in this movie.
Yeah.
One of which being Xbox. There's like Michelob, Mack Truck.
Yeah. There's all sorts of
Cadillac, fucking. I was starting to annoy myself putting out every single time.
Yeah, we should have kept track of how many times it said the island, and they should have kept track of how much product placement there was.
There's a shit ton. Michael Bay likes to make a profit.
Yeah. So yeah. This has been Midnight Movie Gang. This has been our discussion of Mickey 17 and the island. It's been
two movies.
From our perspective. It's been we just got out of the island, so it's like it's hard to, but yeah, still as far as like if you listen to this whole thing, please go support Mickey 17 as well, because
please watch it. I want more movies like that,
especially because like it's a relatively not Mickey 17. I checked the budget the other day. It was $120 million, which is pretty sizable for like a original sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want more movies like that.
Yes.
So go support it, please.
Please.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know if if The Island is on Netflix or whatever. Like I got the DVD for $3
I think
used.
you can skip it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Watch the cool parts on YouTube.
Sure.
Yeah, this has been Midnight Movie Gang. It's currently 4:48 p.m. Night Movie Gang. Check us out on YouTube at Midnight Movie Gang Podcast. On Instagram, same deal. Check out our Patreon to listen to to the commentary we recorded today, as well as other commentaries we have on there. And yeah, thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
So, here we go. With child expectations and complexes which the police refer to as James Thomas. Believes that there's a number of things with him, and her partner is the horrible murder of Walter. Where's everybody? And I'm here to walk on. Oh, please tell me where they've gone. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How long is it? How much have I got in here? 3 tickets to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you think? Special agent, special agent.